holiday season has come early here on the Third Coast Gridiron. It's state championship week, and for us at the Third Coast Gridiron, it's like Christmas coming early, a week early. Man, we appreciate you joining us all season and every week here on the Third Coast Gridiron on the LSG Network, brought to you by Fat Cow Beef Jerky, real food, no bull. We're going to talk about the big game of the week, Duncanville North Shore. It's the fourth meeting between perennial state powers, especially the North Shore Mustangs, Eastside High. Man, they've been getting it in. They're undefeated. We're going to break down the game between them and their rival, who is now a legitimate rival, the Duncanville Panthers. This week on the Third Coast Gridiron, short and sweet this week. That's the main attraction. That's the big game. North Shore is the only team remaining from the H in the state playoffs. We'll talk about that and more after this break. We appreciate you joining us here on the Third Coast Gridiron.
Hey, football fans, Christmas is right around the corner. We have the perfect gift for your high school football fan in your life. Friday Night Legends, the board game. With Friday Night Legends, you can play the greatest high school teams of all time against each other based on their real stats. That means you can play the 1989 Odessa Permian Panthers of Friday Night Lights fame against the 2017 Mater Day team and really see who's the better team. Or what about Peyton Manning's Newman High School in New Orleans against Trevor Lawrence's Cartersville, Georgia team? There are thousands of teams in the library from all over the United States. Get your copy of Friday Night Legends at BoardGameLegends.com and be the hero of Christmas morning.
Marc Henry here, man. We appreciate you listening to the Third Coast Gridiron, man. But as I move around from stadium to stadium and event to event, sometimes I get hungry and I just can't stop at Whataburger or Jack in the Box or anywhere to grab something. I reach in my bag and get some Fat Cow Beef Jerky. Real food, no bull, man. It's jerky made from 100% beef. Fat Cow Beef Jerky is a small business with a big heart and love for high quality, man. We're talking about the ultimate flavored meat snacks, man, with a taste of real American ingenuity, man. I love Fat Cow Beef Jerky, and this year I'm proud to say that Fat Cow Beef Jerky is the title sponsor for the Third Coast Gridiron. Check out Fat Cow Beef Jerky, utterly perfect jerky. If you're looking for a home or an apartment or looking for first-class service in selling a property, call the Location Agency. The Location Agency is a first-class real estate group with the resources to help you locate, buy, and sell property throughout Texas. The Location Agency has been serving Texas real estate clients for over 20 years and can help you with all of your real estate needs. Give them a call at 832-724-0631 and ask for JR. The Location Agency is a proud supporter of the Third Coast Gridiron and the Lone Star Gridiron Network. Go to thelocationagency.net for more information. Before we get into the main attraction, let's talk about a couple of teams that are close to the Houston area in our listening range that are in the state championship games in their respective divisions. We'll start out with South Oak Cliff and Port Neches Groves. P&G takes down several big contenders to get to the state championship. They come in at 13-2, 5A Division II matchup against South Oak Cliff, who are the reigning Division II 5A champs. Let's start with South Oak Cliff. They come in at 12-3. Their offense is averaging over 33 points a game. They have one of the stingiest defenses in the state, only giving up about 14 a game. But Port Neches Groves, they're what a team is made of. They've been having a great run through the playoffs. They come in at 13-2, averaging about 34 points a game defensively, giving up 19 points a game. They've been to the state title game 6 times and won 3 state championships in their history. Port Neches Groves comes in as the underdog. Of course, South Oak Cliff, they're known for their defense. This is what they do. They shut down a very good Argyle team last week in a 14-6 victory. Argyle came in with one of the better offenses in the state, averaging well close to 400 yards of total offense. South Oak Cliff held them to 6 points, 2 field goals. So Port Neches Groves, they have their work cut out for them. But if anybody can do it, P&G's been that team that's overachieved all year. A couple of players to note to watch in that game: junior running back Isaiah Wynn, senior Cole Crippen, and definitely that defense of P&G's definitely one that you might want to take a look at and get to know. But Port Neches Groves, from the Golden Triangle down there, Beaumont, Port Arthur area, definitely a team that's made some noise, and they're in the state championship game against South Oak Cliff. That'll be a Friday kick, 7 o'clock p.m. in AT&T Stadium. Living in Texas, you guys know that the weather's so unpredictable, almost bipolar at times. We don't know if it's going to be rainy or sunny. It's going to be storming. We could get snow. That takes a toll on your roof. My guys over at American Shield Roofing and Construction can take care of you. They're dependable, honest, and insured. When you find yourself in need of a roofing repair or looking for a roofing company, look no further than American Shield Roofing and Construction. When dealing with a roofing company, you need a roofing contractor who is dependable, who arrives on time, and can provide you a quality new roof in a timely manner. They give you an honest quote, as accurate as can be, and they give accurate estimates. Check out American Shield Roofing and Construction. Give them a call at 361-343-7018. That is 361-343-7018. And you can also go on the website and schedule an inspection or get a quote. That is AmericanShieldRoofing.com. One more time, AmericanShieldRoofing.com, a proud sponsor of the Third Coast Gridiron. Now, the other program of note, kind of close to the Houston area, is College Station. The Cougars are back in the state championship game again. They got there last year, and they lost to Katy Paytown, who moved up to 6A this year, and they went to the playoffs. They missed the playoffs, but they were in that Katy district. They beat College Station last year in the 5A Division I championship game. Now, the College Station Cougars have made it back. They face one of the classic programs in the state in the Aledo Bearcats, 10-time state champion Aledo Bearcats. Now, these teams are identical records, 13-2. Aledo's coming in averaging about 42 points a game offensively. College Station just over 37 points a game. Both defenses have played very well during the season. Aledo's giving up about 16 points, and the College Station Cougars are getting up a little bit over 22 points a game. This is their second title appearance, and they won one. The last time these teams matched up in 2017, College Station came out on top 20-19. But Aledo's one of those programs, a Friday night light type town where everybody shuts down and everybody goes to see the Bearcats play. But College Station has one of the young players that I had a chance to see this spring at a couple of camps, and that is quarterback Arrington Maiden. We're talking about a junior quarterback that's had a phenomenal season, and he's going to be one of the guys going into this offseason that you're going to see that's going to be heavily touted, heavily recruited coming out of that particular area of the state of Texas. Maiden's a 6'3", 195-pound class of 2024 prospect, and he's been playing a phenomenal brand of football. He's stabilized the offense, following up a guy like Jet Huff, who's at the University of Houston now. Those were big shoes to fill, but I had a chance to meet Arrington Maiden in person a couple of times at a couple of camps, a college camp and a couple of showcase camps. This guy's the real deal. He can spin it. He manages this offense well. A well-coached team the College Station is. They got the right guy behind center. Another guy for College Station that you'll need to check out is the defensive back, Wisconsin commit, A.J. Tisdale. We're talking about a guy who's a technician, fluid defender, a guy that you don't want to throw in his direction because he can take it and house it for 6. And also Harrison Robinson's a defensive back for College Station, definitely that you want to keep an eye on. But, the key matchup probably will be College Station secondary going against the Aledo pass game. Hoss Haney's a junior quarterback that's been playing super good football for Aledo, and he's one reason that they're back in the championship game. And also another junior for Aledo, Hawk Patrick Daniels. Get to know this guy. He's he's one of the most stable running backs that they have. He's a playmaker. He can take it the distance. He can catch the ball out of backfield. Just very versatile. And he's that guy, Aledo, if you know anything about high school football in the state of Texas, have always been that school that has great running backs. This is the next guy up. This is the next guy to carry him. And he does a great job. But that's a big game also. That'll be a Saturday kick. College Station, again, is back in there for the second year in a row in the state championship, and they're taking on the Aledo Bearcats. That'll be an 11 a.m. kick on Saturday at AT&T Stadium. Now let's get down to the marquee matchup of the weekend, the game that wraps up the entire state championship weekend at AT&T Stadium, the Duncanville Panthers against the North Shore Mustangs. This will be their fourth meeting since 2018. They also had a matchup in 2019 and last year, the third installment of that game where North Shore came on top, and they're the repeating champs coming back into this matchup. They've beaten Duncanville 3 times the last time they played them. This is a big matchup. This is a rivalry game, classic rivalry game between two storied high school programs. You got Duncanville coming in at 14-0, averaging about 42 points a game on offense. The defense is barely giving up 10 points a game. And you have North Shore, who comes in at 15-0, averaging about 46 points a game. And their defense is lights out as well, giving up a shade over 14 points a game. This is the marquee matchup. This is the matchup that everybody in the state wants to see. This will be the final game on Saturday at 7 o'clock at AT&T Stadium. What more can you say about both of these teams? They're mirror images of each other. They want to run the ball. They want to attack you up front offensively. Defensively, they want to be very stout up front, and they want to attack you up front as well. Got some of the best defenders on the back end on both sides. What are we going to see here? Caden Durham for the Duncanville Panthers is arguably the best running back in the class of 2024 in the state of Texas. We're talking about a guy that is a track athlete, but a football player. He can get it done. He runs hard between the tackles. Last week against Prosper to get the Panthers into the championship round, over 200 yards, 3 TDs, a monster game in the rain. There was a rain delay over at SMU to slow the game down, but Duncanville came out and put a very good Prosper team to sleep early. The final score was 41-0, but it wasn't close, probably going into halftime. A dominant performance on the defensive side by the Panthers. They're led by 5-star All-American, All-World 2024 defensive captain and defensive stud, Colin Simmons. He's one of the best players in the nation, not just in the state. And they also have Alex January up front and an unsung hero on that defensive line, Jabron Peters, who really pushes the pocket, plays the run well, and gets it done up front for those guys. Duncanville's very strong, again, coached by one of the best coaches in the state of Texas in Coach Samples. And then you have John Kay on the other side for the North Shore Mustangs. The thing about these two programs is they have had stability at the head coaching front for a long time. These guys know how to get it done. They're both winners. They're both storied coaches historically in the state of Texas, and they get to match up again. North Shore's got a 28-game winning streak, and they took care of business and exercised some demons against Austin Westlake, who happened to be the last team to beat North Shore a couple of years ago to keep them from going to the state championship. The last time that quarterback Kate Klubnik, who's now at Clemson, was the quarterback at Westlake. But David Amandor, the UTSA commit, has stepped in at the quarterback position. He's an all-state receiver, and he's got these guys playing at a great level. They haven't missed a beat. DeAndre Hardeman, the sophomore, along with Rashad Johnson in the backfield, have done a great job of keeping this running game going. That's what the Mustangs are. They're physical up front. They will pound you. They will wear you down. And eventually you look up and you got 21 points on you right quick. That's what they do. Also on the offensive side for the Mustangs, you got Evan Jackson, who also had a punt return for a touchdown against Westlake the previous week. And he even threw a long touchdown pass to help North Shore get past Westlake in the semifinals. Both of these teams are very powerful. Both of these teams have speed. There'll be a plethora of talent on both sides of the ball. Besides David Armendor, you have Jacoby Davis on the defensive side, who's one of the highly touted cornerbacks in the state of Texas. He's got offers from several schools in the Big 12, the SEC, and Pac-12. He's a national recruit. He can match up with anybody that you put him on, and he'll be a guy that'll be guarding some of the best receivers for Duncanville, which include DeCorian Moore. He's a top sophomore wide receiver. They have a couple of guys that get it done as well on the offensive side to go along with Caden Durham, the running back, who's one of the best running backs in the class of 2024. Defensive lineman Elijah Fields has been a mainstay up front for the Mustangs. He's a 6'1", 265-pound man. He's a man up front. He kind of reminds you of Aaron Donald. Compact build, strong at the point of attack, really rush the passer, but also plays the run well. He was a guest here as a Grind and Shine Player of the Week early on in the season here on the Third Coast Gridiron. If you go back and listen to that, you could tell that this guy means business. He's a senior as well. And these are some of the guys that you'll see that'll be playing on Saturdays really soon on both teams. But that is the final installment of the state championship games on Saturday from AT&T Stadium. It'll be a 7 o'clock kick. This is must-see TV. This is what guys in my line of work in this business on the Third Coast Gridiron, this is what we live for. Like I said earlier, an early Christmas present to get us ready. This is a stocking stuffer of the stocking stuffers. Anything that you want to see in high school football, it kicks off on Wednesday all the way through Saturday, a big event. I'm sure that you'll see it on Bally's, but if you can make it down there, it'd be a great ticket to purchase. I will be in the house. The Third Coast Gridiron will be in the house. Also, check out the Lone Star Gridiron Road to State previews. Myself, Matt Davidson, and several personalities from around the Lone Star Gridiron Network will be breaking down the games and getting you ready and prepared for each game at the state championships in AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. That is all for today here on the Third Coast Gridiron. You can follow us on Twitter at Third Gridiron. You can follow me on Twitter at MarkHen44 or on Instagram at Mark_Hen44. We appreciate you listening to the Third Coast Gridiron on the LSG Network. We will come back and talk next week about who came on top at the state championships in AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas.